So one way that I think about our purpose and our meaning is that we're an organization that's designed actually to respond to this very moment of time that we're in, right? So we were initially founded to work with people and with people who were displaced by conflict, by disasters, by things like famines. Really, we're often responding and have been responding for many decades to people that have had to flee countries that have had prolonged exposure to conflict, and they're trying to find a home, they're trying to find a safe place for their families. And so in the past, we've built refugee camps, we've run medical facilities for people escaping war, we've done food deliveries during famines. But actually what's really happened over the last few years is we've been grappling with this idea of what does it look like to help people in environments of profound fragility. We're kind of an organization designed that if you're with your family and you feel like the whole world is shaking underneath you, we're an organization that's meant to come alongside of you and help you get through all of that. And what's remarkable to us is that what I think the defining characteristic of the 21st century is this idea of fragility. And so in the past, we were working in places like Somalia or the Sudan or the Congo. And we actually have teams right now that are helping people here in the Twin Cities. So it seems like fragility is a shared experience now. And that when we're facing something like the COVID pandemic, actually it's like an empathy bridge for many of us. Like for the first time, we begin to understand what's it like to fear for the safety of your own family. I think about it as having like three things that we can do. One is you have to be clear in your own mind. Are you one of the good people or are you one of the bad people? Yeah. And I think most people listening to this consider themselves the good people. Yeah. Because when you're a good guy, it often feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill, and the truth is, in many cases, you really are. And sometimes it feels like you're losing, and sometimes it's true, you may actually be losing. But the thing about being a good guy or a good person is that you don't choose to do that because it's expedient. You don't choose to do that because it's comfortable. You don't choose to do that because it's the easy thing to do. You choose to be a good person because it's the right thing to do. You choose to do that because it's the noble thing. It's the kind of thing that your children will be proud about you being. And actually, and I think most fundamentally, it's the only choice that's worthy of your humanity. Then the second thing is, well, then as a good person, what should I do? And the danger is, and I think this is happening to a lot of people, you get overwhelmed with the problem and you begin losing your belief that you can actually do something. And yet the truth is you can do something. Yeah? So what we do in that environment, and we face the toughest problems in the world in some of the toughest locations in the world. And we've built our own mantra on that, which is in the face of the impossible, we do the doable. And every day there are doable things that you can do. And the good thing is we're all part of a community of good people. And so if we're all doing doable things every single day, this all accumulates like a big giant snowball, and we begin actually having real impact and real change. Don't get lost in the problem. You know, the problem can be very disempowering, actually. Instead, what you should do is look for the hope and build on that. So look for positive things. Remember, you're one of the good guys. 2, in the face of the impossible, we do the doable. And 3, look for the hope and build on it. Don't get lost in the problem. And we just keep doing that every single day, every day of the year, that over time, that will lead to change. And it's certainly been true in our case. So we've been doing it now for a number of years. We do these things every single day. Tradition Bank, you were a big part of that. You actually went out and did it yourself, so you know it works. And it's been powerful for us. We believe a few things, fundamentally. We believe that there is simple human justice in the chance to build a life, that the minimal expectation a person can have when they're born onto this earth is they can expect to have a little piece of that earth on which they can build a life on. And I think critically, we believe that the world is an abundant, beautiful place, and it's full of remarkable people who want to give. Our world is seeing goodness actually much more often than badness. And then thirdly, we believe in doing a better thing. We are committed to the belief that people need to have a life worth living. That people are good, that the world is amazing and abundant, that actually there's plenty. There's enough for everybody. And that what we need to do is just commit, all of us individually, to getting up every morning and doing a better thing. Now, all three of those things require belief. They just require that you don't get lost in the things that you see immediately around you, that you don't get lost in the news, you don't get lost in your own story that you tell yourself. And then in the middle of all of these things, whether it's COVID, whether it's like the injustices that we see around us in our own city, whether we see it, what seems to be a world is becoming more fragile. In the face of those things, we just remind ourselves it's going to be okay. It's an abundant world. It's full of good people. Actually, all of us can work together. We can all resolve these things. It's going to be good, and it will be good. So the biggest hurdle for us is like helping people to not fall into despair in the face of these things, and to remember who they are and that they're remarkable and that we're all part of the solution. We're not part of the problem. And keeping that belief there and then just acting on it. So that's always our biggest hurdle. Don't let people despair. Keep people believing.